Pawn Stars is a very popular TV show which airs on the History Channel. It is so popular that people actually travel to Las Vegas to the gold and silver pawn shop just to see the stars or try to pawn their items there. People just love the idea of pawning and watching it happen on television. Rick Harrison owns and runs the pawn shop along with his son Corey Harrison and Chumlee. Corey Harrison has become a fan favorite and he has sold and bought some of the most insane items. And in today's video, we are going to show you a few, so stay tuned. Surprisingly, a lot of rare baseball memorabilia connected to some of the world's most famous players have made their way into the gold and silver pawn shop. And this decades-old jersey was no exception. Willie Mays is one of the best baseball players in the history of the game, and according to the man who brought this jersey in, it was worn by him during several of his games. When Chumlee and Corey analyzed it, it seemed that everything was in order except for one thing. It wasn't actually game worn. Willie Mays was known for his epic slides into each plate, so by all logic there should have been some stains on his uniform. I mean, it only makes sense. After intensely lowering and raising the price, Corey managed to get the jersey for a very low price of $31,000. On a sour note though, after the transaction had been made, the jersey was supposedly discovered to be fake. That's gotta suck. Regardless though, this was still an incredibly well done deal and the item in question is absolutely awesome.
61 Willie Mays uniform. I got his jersey with the matching pants underneath.
Now, although we can't prove that this is actually a game-worn jersey, this is 100% authentic jersey that Willie Mays was issued.
Great, good to hear. $31,000, call it a day. Sounds good. All right.
Sammy Hagar, aka one of the lead singers of the legendary band Van Halen, was supposedly one of the nicer members of the group and ended up signing a lot of items. One of these items actually made its way into gold and silver, and it was a cigar box ukulele. The woman who brought the instrument into the shop said that it used to belong to her ex-boyfriend, but he had left it behind when they broke up, so she wanted to pawn it and make a couple $100s off it. When Corey saw it, he knew right away that he was going to need a lot to explain to him, so he brought in two separate experts to identify the valuable qualities of the item. The first expert identified the Sammy Hagar signature as legitimate, but the fact that his signature is pretty widespread didn't raise the value of the item that much. The second expert valued the ukulele itself, and he claimed that it was incredibly well done and was super interesting. When all was said and done, he valued the item at $500 to $600. Eventually, Corey bought the ukulele for a generous total of $400, as such a strange instrument with a famous signature is sure to catch some eyes. Not only will this sell well, but it's a prime example of some of the weirdest items to make it into gold and silver.
All right, can I pull it out of there?
Please do. And it's signed by Sammy Hagar.
The Red Rocker.
Yep.
And so we start to take a look at that. This S comes all the way down, loops it all the way back through, and he goes into his last name. And I see kind of all those characteristics here. So all pretty good signs, Corey.
Okay. No, don't even ask for more. That's just the most I could do.
Okay. I'll do 4.
All right.
Not a lot of modern technology comes into the gold and silver pawn shop, mainly because it doesn't hold much value to collectors and thus can't be resold very easily. However, when Chumlee told Corey that there was a water jetpack for sale 60 miles away from the Las Vegas Strip, Corey was just happy to get away from his dad for a bit. After a very long drive, Corey and Chumlee ended up at the water park where the jetpack resided. Apparently, this particular water jetpack was the first ever made, and the owner wanted a total of $15,000 for it. However, before Corey could make any pricing decisions, he wanted to take the thing for a spin. Turns out it worked. Swimmingly. No pun intended. And Corey was willing to purchase the pack for a fair price. It turns out $15,000 was way above what it was actually worth because Corey immediately lowered the asking price to $4,000, which was a bit more fair. After a lot of back and forth, the owner of the jetpack was consistently disappointed by Corey's estimations, so he couldn't purchase the item. Now, although he left empty-handed, this experience resulted in one of the coolest and most wild episodes on the show. We are sure he hasn't forgotten about his time with that water jetpack to this day.
Chum talked me into coming out 60 miles from the Strip to buy a water jetpack, but hell, at least if I can get away from my dad for a couple hours, it'll be worth it.
There we go. 13.
I could see where it would be worth it. But I don't know if I want to get in the water jetpack business today. Man, I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for coming out.
That's all we have for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time.